He thought a state of emergency was just a suggestion and that his deadline was more important than my life. But he forgot that while he controls the schedule, the Department of Labor controls the fines, and my dashcam just became the most expensive movie he ever watched. The wind outside sounded less like weather and more like a freight train derailing directly against the side of my apartment building. It was 5:30 a.m. on a Tuesday in Chicago, and the world outside my third-floor window had ceased to exist. It was just a swirling, violent wall of white. The news had been blaring warnings for 24 hours. Winter storm Cyclops. The governor had declared a state of emergency at midnight, explicitly stating that all non-essential travel was banned. If you weren't a cop, a fireman, or a doctor, you were supposed to stay home. The weatherman, a guy who usually gets excited about a light drizzle, looked genuinely terrified on the screen, warning that wind chills were approaching 40 below zero and visibility was less than 10 feet. I work in logistics for Apex Solutions. My role is entirely cloud-based. I had spent the last 2 years working remotely with perfect efficiency, but my new boss, Gavin, was a tyrant who believed that if he couldn't see you, you weren't working. His text woke me up. Gavin, I don't care about the news reports. The roads look fine. If you aren't at your desk by 8 a.m., don't bother coming in tomorrow. We have the Q1 reports to file. I replied instantly. Me, it's a state of emergency. Travel is banned. I can work from home. Gavin, no remote access today. Be here or you're fired for job abandonment. No excuses. I knew he was bluffing about the remote access, but I couldn't risk my job. I had rent to pay. I went out to my car, a light sedan totally unsuited for this weather. I spent nearly half an hour digging it out. Before I pulled out, I checked my dashcam. It was recording. I spoke clearly. My boss has ordered me to drive in a blizzard or be fired. I made it 3 blocks before I realized how big of a mistake this was. I couldn't see 5 feet in front of me. I was driving by feel. Then on the curve by the river, the car lost traction. The brakes did nothing. I was a passenger in a 2,000-pound sled. Smash! I hit the guardrail hard. The airbag punched me in the chest. The car spun and slid down the embankment into a frozen ditch. I sat there for a moment, ears ringing, realizing I was alive. I grabbed my phone. I called Gavin. "You're late," he answered. "I wrecked my car, Gavin," I shouted. "I'm in a ditch." There was a long silence. Then the most heartless words I've ever heard. "Well, can you still get an Uber? I need those files." The dashcam is still rolling, capturing the steam rising from my wrecked hood. I am standing knee-deep in freezing snow, blood dripping from my lip, listening to a man ask me to hail a rideshare to a job site that nearly killed me. What happens next isn't just a legal battle. It is the systematic dismantling of a corporate tyrant. I'm about to make a phone call that will bring the police, the paramedics, and eventually the Department of Labor down on Gavin's head like an avalanche. He thinks he just has an employee running late. He has no idea he just created a 6-figure liability claim. Click here to watch full video.